right, so strap in, everybody, because today we are going deep, deep into the world of the strange and unexplained. Have you ever heard of the Book of Aquarius?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
It's this digital manuscript making the rounds online. And yeah, at first glance, it just screams internet hoax,
Right.
But there's something about this one that's just different.
Different. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. This is something else. We're talking 214 pages meticulously sourced with 49 citations, pulling from some heavy hitters, too.
Oh, yeah? Like who?
Everyone from Zosimos of Panopolis to Isaac Newton. And then there's this really weird part. It's got this embedded SHA-1 hash, totally undecipherable, like a digital lock no one's figured out how to pick.
Okay, yeah, that's a little creepy, but what's a book even about? Is this another one of those turn lead into gold philosopher's stone things?
Yeah, it's about the Philosopher's Stone, but the way this book describes it is,
What?
it's less like reading some mystical rambling and more like a lab manual. You know what I mean? Specific instructions, temperatures, pH balance requirements.
So no cryptic riddles or chanting under a full moon. This thing is actually trying to be scientific.
Exactly. It's a complete 180 from traditional alchemical texts. Like, take the Emerald Tablet, for instance.
Right.
All it does is throw out these vague phrases like, separate earth from fire, subtle from gross.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
But the Book of Aquarius, it's talking about reflux condensers and precise temperatures for distillation. It's a whole other approach.
Okay, so we've established this isn't your average internet lore. But what exactly does it say about this Philosopher's Stone? Same old powers, immortality, turning lead into gold, all that stuff.
It does mention those, but again with this very specific, almost clinical approach.
Really?
Yeah, for example, it claims that 1 gram of the stone can completely heal radiation burns.
What?
Yeah, in just 3 hours. It even talks about tests on irradiated rats and them making a full recovery.
Okay, hold on. If this thing actually works, why hasn't anyone gone public with it? I mean, curing radiation sickness in a few hours, that's Nobel Prize-worthy stuff.
Oh, about the last person who tried to replicate something like this.
Yeah.
Let's just say his lab burned down.
A fire?
Yeah.
Are you saying someone's actively trying to suppress this information?
It's happened before knowledge like this. The kind that could completely upset the balance of power.
Yeah.
It tends to attract unwanted attention.
Okay, but what about the book itself? How does it explain creating the Philosopher's Stone? Does it even line up with what people like Isaac Newton believed?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Newton called it the vegetating mercury,
Right.
implying there was a living element to it.
Right.
The Book of Aquarius just strips all that away. It claims there's no spirit, no mystical energy, just atomic rearrangement via life energy.
Okay, so less magic, more
Yeah.
theoretical physics.
Exactly. And it goes even further. It claims the stone actually grows, like an organism. It even gives a specific growth rate. 1 gram becomes 10 grams in 7 years.
Right, it grows. I always thought the Philosopher's Stone was supposed to be this one single object, like the holy grail of alchemy.
That's the traditional view, yeah. Figures like Paracelsus believed in a single, all-powerful stone. But this book is presenting something else entirely. Less like discovering some rare mineral, and more like cultivating a rare plant.
So how do you cultivate this?
Yeah.
Growing Philosopher's Stone. Does the book actually tell you how to do that?
Oh, it does, in excruciating detail.
Huh?
And that's where things get even weirder.
Weirder than a growing
There it
Philosopher's
is.
Stone. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Remember those precise instructions I mentioned? Well, one of the key steps involves the distillation of urine at a very specific temperature, 78.3 degrees Celsius to be exact.
Urine. Seriously, that's unexpected, to say the least.
It definitely clashes with all the vague symbolism of traditional alchemy. But remember, the Book of Aquarius is all about practical application, not allegorical riddles.
Okay, I'll admit this is starting to get under my skin a little.
Yeah.
This isn't just some internet joke, is it? There's something more here.
You're starting to see it, and we're just scratching the surface. So this urine distillation thing, it's not just a one-time thing. The book describes this whole process called the lesser circulation. It's like this 40-day ritual where you have to collect and distill your own urine, maintaining that precise 78.3 degree temperature the entire time.
Okay, that's officially too weird for me. But why urine? What's so special about it?
Medieval alchemists believed that personal ingredients were key to creating the Philosopher's Stone. They thought that by using a part of themselves in the process, they were basically imbuing the stone with their own life force.
So this book is telling people to boil their pee for over a month, and that somehow creates immortality.
Well, it's not quite that simple. But yeah, that's the basic idea. Of course, there are other ingredients involved. A whole list of obscure chemicals and minerals. And the process itself is incredibly complex. You'd need specialized equipment and a deep understanding of chemistry to pull it off.
Okay, but if it's also dangerous, then why even put this information out there? Why not just keep it locked away?
Maybe it's a test. A way of seeing who's paying attention, who's willing to take the risk. Or maybe it's a warning, you know? Like, look what happens when you try to unlock these secrets.
You're starting to sound like one of those conspiracy theorists who sees a hidden hand behind everything.
Hey, I'm a historian. I just see patterns, and the pattern is clear. Whenever knowledge like this comes out, whenever someone gets close to unlocking a power that could really shake things up, things tend to go very wrong.
So you think that's what happened to that scientist whose lab burned down? You really think it wasn't an accident?
Let's just say I have my suspicions.
Okay, I'm officially spooked. But what about the illustrations in the book? You mentioned those were strange.
Oh, they're unlike anything I've ever seen in any alchemical text. I mean, they're intricate geometric patterns, symbols that defy translation. They're more like blueprints than illustrations.
Blueprints for what? The Philosopher's Stone?
Maybe? Or maybe something else entirely. Something we can't even comprehend.
You keep saying we. You're not actually thinking about trying to create this thing, are you?
I have dedicated my life to understanding alchemy. The pursuit of knowledge. The Book of Aquarius is unlike anything I've ever encountered. It challenges everything I thought I knew. And yeah, I'll admit, a small part of me, a very foolish part, is tempted to see where this path leads.
But what if it's a trap? What if it's designed to mislead people to drive them insane?
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
This is insane.
Yeah.
We're talking about a book that tells you to boil your pee and claims to grant immortality.
Yeah.
It's like something out of a bad science fiction movie.
And yet here we are, faced with a reality that's stranger than fiction. But remember the truth. Whatever it may be is out there. And we're getting closer to it every day.
Okay, let's say for a second that this book is real. That it actually has the secrets to creating the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
What then? What do we do with that knowledge?
That's the question, isn't it? Do we share it with the world, risk the chaos it could unleash? Or do we try to suppress it and become the very gatekeepers we've been warning against? It's a dilemma with no easy answers.
Honestly, maybe we should just leave this alone. Walk away before things get too messy.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. We've opened Pandora's box and there's no going back.
Okay, so we need a plan. What's next? Do we try to figure out that SHA-1 hash you mentioned?
That's exactly what we need to do. It's the key to the whole thing. But we need to be careful. If there really are people out there trying to keep this quiet, they'll be watching everything we do.
This is getting way too real for me. I'm kind of regretting ever bringing this whole thing up to you.
Don't worry, we're in this together now.
Yeah.
Besides, where's the fun in a deep dive if it doesn't take you to the absolute bottom?
Easy for you to say. You're the one with the fancy degree and all this. I just feel like I'm wandering around in the dark.
That's the beauty of discovery. You never know what you'll find until you take that first step.
Fine. But if we're going to do this, we need to be smart. No reckless moves, no doing anything stupid.
Agreed. We proceed with caution, but we proceed. The truth is out there waiting for us, and I'm not afraid to find it.
So I've got this Book of Aquarius, right? This crazy mix of like old school alchemy and modern science, claiming it can make a philosopher's stone that can like heal and cure people and even make you immortal. But like every time we learn something new, it just gets weirder.
Yeah.
And honestly scarier.
It really is a paradox, isn't it? This strange blend of ancient rituals and cutting-edge science, it's what makes the Book of Aquarius so fascinating and so unsettling.
Yeah, but we still haven't figured out, like, what does it all mean? For us, for the world. What happens if someone actually cracks the code and makes this growing philosopher's stone?
That is the million-dollar question. What happens when we stumble upon knowledge that could completely change everything? History's full of stories about what happens when people mess with things they don't understand.
Like what?
Like Icarus flying too close to the sun, or Pandora's box being opened, unleashing chaos on the world.
So you're saying this book is like Pandora's box?
Yeah.
That we might unleash something we can't control?
It's definitely a possibility. What if that SHA-1 hash we talked about?
Yeah.
What if it's like a lock
Uh-huh.
on some even deeper knowledge, something even more powerful and dangerous? What if the real power of the Philosopher's Stone isn't about like physical stuff, but about unlocking some hidden potential inside us, inside reality itself?
Okay, now I'm freaking out. This is way bigger than I thought. We're not just talking about some way to get rich or live forever. We're talking about maybe changing the laws of nature.
Exactly, and that's what makes the Book of Aquarius so captivating, so terrifying. It's like a window into a world where anything is possible, where science and magic are the same thing. It makes you question everything you thought you knew.
So if it's that powerful, that dangerous, why risk letting it out into the world? Why not just burn the book and forget about it?
That's the thing, isn't it? Once you know something, you can't unknow it. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. And who are we to decide what people should or shouldn't know? Throughout history, powerful people have always tried to control information, to keep themselves in charge.
So what do? Just sit here and wait for someone to maybe screw up the world?
No, we do what we've always done. We learn, we explore, we ask questions, and we share what we find with others. Because knowledge is the best weapon against ignorance, against tyranny.
You're starting to sound like some kind of superhero fighting for truth and knowledge.
Let's just say I've seen what happens when the wrong people get their hands on dangerous information. And I'm going to do everything I can to stop that from happening again.
Okay, but how? Do we try to decode the hash, call up some computer expert? This is way beyond anything I know how to deal with.
We need to be smart about this. First, we need to find the right people. People who can help us understand the book's secrets. But we have to be careful. If someone is watching, they'll be watching us too.
This is like something straight out of a spy movie. Secret societies, ancient texts, hidden codes. It's unbelievable.
Believe it. The world's a much stranger place than we think. And sometimes the most amazing discoveries are right in front of us, just waiting for someone curious enough to find them.
Well, I definitely didn't expect a deep dive into some online document to lead to all this.
Yeah,
But here we are facing a mystery that could change the world.
that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We started with a simple question about a digital manuscript, and now we've stumbled upon something truly incredible. Something that could completely change how we understand the universe.
So what now? What do we do next?
The path ahead is dangerous. But we have a choice. We can go back, pretend this never happened, or we can face the unknown head into the future and see what's out there. The choice is ours.
Well, I guess there's no turning back now. Let's see where this all leads.
Good, because the truth is out there waiting, and the search for knowledge never ends.
So there you have it. The mystery of the Book of Aquarius. Is it a hoax? Some big scientific discovery? Or something even bigger? We've only just started to uncover its secrets, but we'll keep digging deeper, unraveling its mysteries and exploring what it all means. Join us next time as we continue our journey into the heart of this alchemical enigma.